life of an artist. Today is Monday. We're going to be filming every day of the week this week. Take you along my days. There's going to be a lot of art. There's going to be a lot of life stuff. There's going to be a lot of random things. It's probably going to be a fairly long video. So grab your drinks, grab your snacks, grab your journals, see your sketchbooks, and hang out, sketch along with me or whatever. Today's currently Monday, and I'm packing up all my stuff, getting ready to go to my studio to pack my orders for this week, and then get a little bit of work done there, and then I'm probably going to come back here and do some work here. I've got 25% of my notebooks right here. Later on in the video, I'll show you all of the journals and notebooks and sketchbooks I'm using in case that interests you. I'm having a really hard time figuring out which notebooks I want to use for 2024, and I call it notebook crisis. So I'm still in notebook crisis, although we're nearing the end of that. And then I got some cool things to share in a bit. But other than that, you're stuck with me for the next 30, 40, 50 minutes, against your will, for sure. You can't leave. You started the video, and now you have to stay. And you have to watch everything, and I'm going to quiz you at the end to make sure you're watching the whole thing. So, I really still can't believe that I get to say, oh, we're going to the studio today. I gotta pack up stuff so that I can go work at my studio. What? I still had no time to process the past 2 months. Stuff ready. I have all these ghosts to transport, and I always get terrified moving them from here to the studio, and I'm scared they're gonna break, but I haven't had that happen yet. Not under my control. I got one person who said that their ghosty, part of it broke in the mail, which was not my fault, I don't think. I packed them pretty well, because that's the only one out of 300 that I've sent this year. That's the only one that I've heard of. So, I'm sorry, but I'm going to put the blame on USPS. Not my doing, but they're really cool about it. The person was I was like, oh no, I'm so sorry, I'll make you a new one and send it over. And they were like, no, I like that it's chipped and it has a little broken, it was one of the cowboys. They're like, I love that it has a little broken hat. I just super glued it back together. I think it makes it cooler. And I was like, that's so cool. So I'm really happy that person, I would have been more than happy to make another one for them, but I thought it was cool that they were like, no, it makes it even more unique. So I thought that was very cool, and I wrote that down in my journal because I wanted to remember that. So, okay, enough rambling. We got to get stuff packed. I was supposed to leave 30 minutes ago, so I'm still not packed, but my mom has to take me because my car is broken at the moment, and I don't have insurance, which is a whole debacle, and I'm not even going to get into that. It's been 2 months. I haven't driven my car for 2 months. If you drive, and you drive all the time, whether it's for work or school, or when you're done with those things, you just drive to drive because driving is fun, I think you can imagine how detrimental not driving for 2 months is. And I'm going crazy. But I'm hanging in there, I think. I want my car. I want to drive. But anyways, we gotta go. We gotta pack. 25 orders to pack, I think, right now, and I have 20 small boxes, and a few of those orders are big orders, so I get to use my big boxes, and some of them are just use a different type of material to ship them in, so I'm hoping I have enough supplies for this last amount of orders. Otherwise, I'm screwed. I'm not screwed, actually. I'll be fine. But it would be nice if things work out for me and everything goes well and I have just enough supplies for this last drop, and then come next drop, I can buy more. I took a nap. I fell asleep for like an hour, and I dropped off those orders to the post office. Everything went great. I had all the right supplies, dropped it off, came home, took a nap, and daylight savings ended or started. I don't know. Whichever one happens in the fall just happened yesterday. So it's dark now, and it's 5:30. So, I love this time change. My camera is still dead, by the way, hence the iPhone footage. But my camera is dead. What? No. But I love this time change. Personally, I think it's the best one. I love when the sun goes down quicker. I think I personally work a little better when it's nighttime. I don't know if it has to do with like the light or just like, I don't know, I work better when it's later. But I like it, and also it makes the days feel longer to me, which isn't necessarily what most people think. I think most people are like, oh my gosh, the day's so short now. But I think of it as like, oh, it's dark outside. I think, oh my gosh, it must be like 7 or 8. And then you check the clock and it's 5:30, which means basically I got 3 free hours of the day that I didn't have before, because otherwise, if it was 7 and it was still light out, that's just a normal day. But when it gets dark earlier, you really are getting extra days. So really, there's like 27 hours in the day instead of 24 when the time changes in the fall. I am drinking one of these right now, so. Oh my gosh. I can't believe my eyes are watering. I should never be allowed to take a nap ever again. We're going to a dinner at 7, so I have like an hour or so to work in my journals and plan out some stuff and show you guys my journal setup. And then at 7, we're going to this dinner that my dad's friend's brother is like opening a restaurant, or he's like redoing the restaurant or something. They're trying something new. So anyways, they invited us to go and have dinner at the restaurant. So I'll take you along for that at 7, and then I'm gonna go to the gym and then go to bed, and then Tuesday will start. Off the top of my head, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow or for the rest of the week. It's all in my Google Calendar and in my journals. I don't remember any of it. If I need to reference it, I check something. But off the top of my head, I've got no idea what I'm doing tomorrow. But you'll see tomorrow. But I'm gonna take some time in my journals I'll show you my journal setup for 2024, or at least what I think it's going to be. It's probably going to change because I go through a journal crisis once every 2 months, at least, if not more. But this last journal crisis has been lasting almost an entire month. Usually it's about 2 days to a week long, and this one is just, I don't know why. Also, I don't know why I have such a hard time figuring out what the system is going to be. Like, it genuinely, like, wears me down and gets, like, it's debilitating. So, I think I have found my, you can see me right here. I think I found my setup for this year, for the next year. So yeah, I'll show you that, and then I'm gonna work on my journals for a little bit, and then we're gonna go to dinner. Let's get to it. Okay, so here's the setup, which I know seems absolutely crazy if you're not like a journal person. But this is what I got going on. And some of these aren't even like I don't know, I'll get into it. Let me get down to the bare bones necessities first. So the first two that are like, without a doubt, okay, this is kind of the main setup, these three. These ones are more like side quest characters, which I'll get into later. Also, I'm sorry that my camera shakes so much. I'm on a little tripod thing and it's not that stable, but whatever. So these three, four, I guess technically, because this one is its own book, but these are like my main systems. So we'll start off with my weeks. So this is kind of the first setup. I have my field notes notebook, which is kind of like, this is like the catch-all. I just jot down random ideas, tasks in here. Right now I have like my shot list of the shots that I want for the video, for this video. I went and redid my Google Calendar the other day, so I wrote down all the calendars that I'm using right now, and just so I could remember them. Over here is like, these are the tasks that I had for when I was in the studio today. I have little doodles in here, and then, I don't know, random stuff. It's kind of just, here, let me show you an older one. This one is brand new. This one's not brand new because I stopped using these for a few months up until this month again. During October, I was kind of using this one. September and October, I was using this Midori one, which again is just like, it has different random notes. It's just literally like scribbles, chicken scratch, stuff like this. This is where I track my orders, just like random things like this. So it's nothing of importance literally at all, but it's just always good to have something like this. And I try to keep this just in my pocket as much as I can, instead of using my notes app on my phone. But this is kind of always around me for sure. And then I kind of put these two together because if I'm gonna go out somewhere, just like very short, if I'm taking anything, it's gonna be these two. Like, it's very compact, it's very small. I can do everything I need with these two. But so like, if I'm literally just gonna go, like, I don't know, down to Target, or if I'm gonna go hang out with my friends or something, I'm just gonna take these two, just in case we end up going to a coffee shop or something. I'll still have something to write in or sketch in. That's what that is. My Hobonichi Weeks has a few different uses. First of all, its main use is as a planner. I like this setup where it's like days on this side, and then over here I can do different tasks. I kind of use this system, which I think is, I think I saw this from Megan Rhiannon's channel. And it's just like a running to-do list, and I do it where I'll put 1/ for the day that I'm intending for it to be done, and then on the day that I do it, I'll go back and put in another one and X it out just so I can track which days I was doing it. Last week I obviously did not keep up with that, but I like to do that anyways. But I don't know, I do different things. Here's like an older spread where I had more stuff in there. I don't know, it's good for the things that I use it for. That's kind of the main, I don't know, it's good for a planner, and for me that works really well, and that's what I've been using it for. In this back section, the back of the Hobonichi Weeks has a section of just blank note paper, so I decided I'm going to use this back section as kind of like somewhat of a commonplace notebook. Here I have plans for the next few days of just hour by hour, because when I get into my other notebooks it has an hourly system that I don't like, so this I kind of can use in conjunction with my planner section where I write down my tasks, and then in the back I can do it hour by hour, because I personally like to have the time blocked day structure. But yeah, I'll take general notes, stuff that's a little more worth keeping than this one. This one is kind of like disposable. I don't throw any of my notebooks away, but disposable in the sense that like I don't need to keep this, what's in here. Like I don't need it by my side all the time. I'll put stuff that's a little more worthy of being kept. This isn't necessarily more worthy of being kept, but it's just, I don't know. Stuff of more importance I like to put in the back of here. But I don't do research in here. I don't do product planning. I don't do product notes unless, like I said, I'm out with my friends and we just so happen to end up at a cafe. I will take those notes in here, but then I will migrate them to a different book of whichever subject it needs. So this is like the bare bones with me everywhere. This is my brain, my central brain, which will be split off into many different sections, but this is kind of the epicenter. This is the epicenter of everything. I'm okay mixing my work notes with my personal notes and journal entries and doodles, and everything can be in this. And that's kind of where it all starts. And then from there, I will transport notes and sketches into whichever books see fit. So, my main sketchbook is just a Moleskine sketchbook. I really like Moleskine sketchbooks. I think they're great. I like this one. This one was given to me as a gift, actually. I love the size of it. It's a little smaller than just like the typical Moleskine sketchbook. So in comparison to the Weeks, it's a little shorter, but it's wider. So again, if I am going to go out and I want to take my sketchbook, like I'm intentionally going to draw something, this system is just super compact and just easy to take with me. Moving on to these two. This first one is for the comics / novel, because I realize I'm writing way too much of a storyline for it to be a comic book series, that I'm thinking I'm turning it into like more of a novel. So these two kind of go hand in hand. This one is soon going to be taken out of the running, but I started writing it in here, and as you can see, I have just a ton of storyline notes, which I'm gonna blur because I don't want you to see them, but I just wrote a bunch of stuff in here that I'm gonna transport into this one eventually, because this one I got the other day. It has one side blank paper and one side lined paper, which is perfect for what I want to do, because I want to write the words of the story and then have doodles that go along with it. I'm still trying to work on the comic series, so this is a great alternative. And if I do want to write on this side, you can kind of see the lines poking through, so it doesn't really matter to me, and I can write on both sides like I have here. And it's just, I don't know, it's more customizable to my needs. So this is for writing the storyline. Anything Asteroid, his universe, comic book, novel stuff goes in this. These two kind of, but like I said, I'm going to transfer everything I wrote in here into here eventually, so I just have one. I like the idea of having like as small of a system as possible and keeping everything together in one book, so then I can look back at all of the notes for the novel in one book or two books. It just works better for me that way. The next one is my Hobonichi cousin. This one I'm kind of using as like a work, art, commonplace planner, notebook, all-in-one kind of catch-all system again. So in here we have a monthly setup, and then there is a weekly setup, There's a weekly setup that I am still trying to figure out how I'm going to use it and what I like about it. This is the setup I was saying I don't like this vertical setup. I like how the Hobonichi Weeks is, where it's weekdays over here and then an empty page. I don't like this at all, but I'm trying to make myself like it. But yeah, so I use this for planning out the day. I do a little bit of memory keeping, kind of just like a little blurb of what I did that day, because I do like to go back and see all the things that I did every day. I have another notebook that was primarily just for memory keeping, and I'd write a few sentences every day, and it is cool to look back at that. So I do try to do that in here. Again, my work is art and making my products and creating my own world, which I'm very lucky to be able to do at this point in my life. So I'm okay with things crossing over from work into personal, because it's all, at the end of the day, me and like my stuff. So I'm not too strict on having it be, this is just art notes and just business stuff. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it having some of my personal thoughts and emotions, because it's all for my eyes only, really, at the moment. So next up is the daily section, which I do not use as a daily section. I originally did, but I bought this in April, so I had 4 months that were going to be empty, so I decided to use the first 4 months as like a commonplace notebook, and I really liked it. So at the time of when I bought this, I was using it kind of like a daily thing. I'm not too big with like deco stuff. I don't often do this whole type of thing. It's just every once in a while I'll paste something in different doodles and whatever. But I was using it as a daily section for a little bit, but then going into next year, I think I'm just going to use it as a plain notebook, and instead of the dates corresponding to what is written, it's just going to be used as an index system, which I believe Megan Rhiannon also does. I get a lot of my ideas from her. She's like my favorite journal YouTuber. She's the only one, with peace and love and respect to all of the planner people out there, she's the only one whose vibe is kind of not like, I don't know. A lot of the planning stuff is really, to me, ugly. I have a very specific style. I don't like the planner stickers. Again, no hate to like people who like the Coffee Monster Co. or whatever. That's not my style at all. And whatever floats your boat is good for you. But I really like Megan Rhiannon. She's my favorite because she does a lot of simple stuff. She also likes a lot of spooky things, which I as well like. So I take a lot of my inspiration from her. She's really the only person who I kind of trust, and also the way that her system is set up just works for me as well. I also like Caitlin Gray. Her stuff is very neutral, so I look at a lot of stuff that she does as well. But mainly Megan Rhiannon is my go-to. So the indexing system that I use is, I believe, the way that she does it too. So I just go back into the front of the notebook where it has the months and the days, and I'll just write down what the topic of that note section was. So then I can look back here and see, oh, storyline notes were on February 8th. So then I go over here and I see February 8th, and I have notes for whatever it is that I'm researching. So over here, I'll go back to here. This is the note system. This is the dot indexing system that I use. Again, Megan Rhiannon is the first person I saw who does this, so I just love all the stuff she does. So my blue tag is for daily entries, or just like general notes or stuff that doesn't really have a category, just like personal maybe. So I use this for, like I said, general notes, planning the next day, stuff like that. Red is for art notes or 1205 Studios, which is my business. So anything that is project planning, anything that is planning for the future, stuff like that will go in there. Sketches, product designs, anything of that sort will be for that. Yellow is for media or research notes. So if I'm watching videos and I like some of the things that they say, I'll tag it with yellow. Articles, books, stuff like that. Green is for social media, and I also need to put /planning because if I'm doing like intense planning, I'll tag it with green. This light blue is for Asteroid's journal / Asteroid comics. Anything Asteroid related. Asteroid's my original character. You'll see him all over the place if you go look at any of my social medias. So blue is for Asteroid's life, and black is for journal or thoughts and just like kind of more, I don't know, just random blurbs of from my mind. Yeah, that's how I use this book. And then I just have this pencil board, which sometimes I keep up with this task list. Typically I don't though, but yeah, and I decorated it with a bunch of vintage stickers and whatever. I'm still debating on if I want to keep this system for next year. I like that I can plan everything and there's a little bit of a structure, but I also do like having just a plain moleskin notebook. I really like moleskin notebooks. I'm not a huge fan of the Leuchtturm 1917s. I used to love them, but I don't know. I don't like their paper anymore. Although moleskin isn't that great for fountain pens, but I don't know. I like the size too. They have like a unique size, but I also really like this instead of this. So I'm still teetering back and forth with the ideas of which one I'm going to use next year. I'm going to make myself use this for the rest of 2023 because this one is for this year, as it has all the dates and the structures. So I'm going to use that, and then at the end of the year kind of assess whether I want this or I'm going to use an empty notebook. I already have one. I bought this green one, which I'm planning on turning into the general notebook for next year. And I already took some notes in here just to try and see what I like, but I don't know. I can't tell which I like more, if I like this setup where it's like I can just do whatever, or really the big pull for the Hobonichi is kind of like the indexing system, and I think it looks a little nicer, maybe. I don't know. Which these are the same notes. I copied it into here so that I could see what I liked more. I can also write more on here, which I didn't think I was going to be able to, because there's this whole section of like 2 inches where there's just text, and then this is like taken up. But I actually, when I was copying this text into here, I fit more text onto these pages than I did on these two. So I don't know what to use. Let me know which one you think is better. I don't know yet, and it's kind of making me mad, honestly. Here's how I kind of organize it. These two are work / 1205 Studios stuff. This is my brain. This is the epicenter of everything. I'll move this for now. And then this one is like personal. This is my traveler's notebook, which I made myself. This leather cover I made myself. I punched all the holes and everything I made myself, except the inserts are all Traveler's Company. But I have this little wallet insert thing that wraps around all of them, and I have just stickers and stuff in there. And then this is just a sketchbook that I was going to use to take notes in, but I'm just going to use it as like a quick sketchbook. This one is a grid notebook, which I use to take notes. This right now doesn't necessarily have a function or a purpose. I just am trying to convince myself to use it because I like this system. But I'm gonna have a planner one in here. But I don't know. I don't really need this, but I'm gonna try and use it more as like a journal, or like stuff that is personal and is not gonna be, I don't know, a lot of the stuff in here is stuff that I know that I'm gonna be posting to the public or turning into products and social media content. This one is kind of for just like for my eyes only, and just sketching because I want to sketch, or writing because I want to write, instead of writing with the intention of it being released to the public, is what this is for. So again, we've got the epicenter, and then I'll transfer it into wherever it belongs. And then sketchbook is kind of like its own entity, you know. You need a sketchbook, like, it's without a doubt. But yeah, these are kind of the main things that go with me everywhere. This one typically stays at the house. Sometimes I'll take it if I know that I want it. Again, this one also kind of stays at the house unless I know that I'm going to be sketching, or I have the idea or the intention that I'm going to be sketching. But it's usually these that will go with me places. This one I'm trying to take with me everywhere I go, regardless of where it is. And then if I'm going somewhere to work, like at a cafe or something, I'll take these and probably this as well. And then my iPad and my laptop, of course, which is overkill, I know, but I need all of my things, because what if I don't have something that I need? I'm very stressed out about that. And then this fits perfectly into my Delphonics pencil bag, so I can kind of just throw it in. This one also fits in here too, if I have less pencils for the day. These fit in here perfectly together. And then it's just this, which I'm sure to some of you feels like a lot, but this is what I do. It's my life, and it's how I make my money. It's my job. So this is like my work and life all in one. But yeah, if you want to see like what's in my pencil bag, I have 2 of these, or like my favorite pens and art supplies, let me know, and I will do that in the next studio vlog. But I don't know, I just really want to share this. If you're not interested in this, I'm sorry. I love my notebooks, so this is like a very important thing to me. But if you did watch this and you're a big planner, or you like your notebooks and your sketchbooks, comment down below your systems, what notebooks you're using, because I'm really interested in what other people use. Yeah, it took me a long time to kind of narrow it down to these essentially 3 notebooks systems. So I don't know, I'm curious to see what you use, but that's all for my system now. I'm gonna put in some footage of me journaling or doodling or something now, and then dinner time. Yeah. I'm getting ready for dinner now. I think this is what I'm gonna wear. My hair's a little crazy though. I got this sweater at an estate sale, and I love it. It's like the perfect dark blue color. Like, this is my color. This is my perfect shade of blue. I love it. I'm gonna put on my red Converse. And then I've been wearing these today. These are my favorite socks. They have red, they have blue, and they have white. And no, I don't like red, white, and blue. It's red, blue, and white. Because it's not America colors. It's Asteroid 1205 Studios colors, okay? I don't wear these colors because of the American flag. It's usually black. It's usually blue, white, and black with a little bit of red. You know? That's the vibe. This is what I'm wearing. I'm debating on bringing this bag, because I'm bringing my iPad with me because I'm an iPad baby. So I don't know if I want to bring, although my iPad doesn't fit in here actually. So I probably won't, even though this one looks good because it has these stripes. Oh, this was the other bag, by the way. But I already packed up this bag, which I guess is fine. It's just a black bag. So it's not that deep. This will be fine. I'm honestly a little nervous. I'm not too big on trying new foods. It honestly scares me. I'm not comfortable with it. I like the foods that I know that I'm not allergic to, and I know that I like. I don't like a lot of certain tastes. Call me picky. I don't know. I know what I like, and I don't like trying new stuff because I'm scared I'm gonna be allergic to it. I don't know why. I'm just scared I'm just always scared that I'm gonna have an allergic reaction or something and I'm gonna die. So that's why I don't like trying new foods. So I am a little anxious, I'll be honest. Also, I don't like public social settings like this. I don't think we're gonna have to talk to people though, really, besides just the people in my family, so I don't care. But I don't like restaurants. I don't like sitting at restaurants. I would rather eat it in the car or at my house. There's few restaurants that I can sit at that I'm mildly comfortable in, but I'm a little excited. But also the food is vegan, which is good because I feel like vegan eliminates a lot of allergies besides peanuts. And I'm allergic to peanuts. Yeah. Get it over with. Yeah. I'm allergic to peanuts. So that's the only thing that worries me because peanuts can be used. So a little bit nervous. And they also use a lot of soy, which makes my mouth itch. So, but I'm pretty much ready to go. I just gotta brush my teeth. And then we're off. Oh my gosh, my room's a mess. My room's a mess, don't look. It's only a mess because there's clothes on the bed, which makes it look messy. And because of the fan. But other than that, it's not bad. I'm hiding in the bathroom because I don't really like the food. But that's all on me because I'm a very picky eater, like I told you guys. It looks cool and it's fun to be here, but I'm not a huge fan of the food. Also, it's like a bunch of weird ingredients. If it was like pasta or like some bread, oh, I wish they had breadsticks. Anyways, I'm hiding in the bathroom. Time to take this out of the mold, which is always exciting, but also very scary. So here we go. The nice thing about these Legos is you kind of just can pull this apart, like so, and then these just kind of come off. It's like a pretty clean cast, it seems like. I'm hoping. I'll just go around and cut off these little bits in a second, but let's check. I'm scared. I'm scared. This is always scary to peel apart. You gotta work it very slowly so you don't break the mold, but you also don't break whatever you're molding. So I just pull it back very slowly, each time a little more, and then I'll start to kind of wiggle it out if I can. Nice. So then I'll just go and clean up all these little bits of clay and cut off the other parts. The cast is ready to open up. That's the white inside, it's the plastic. The mold, I don't know what I did. I'm gonna take it apart now. I don't know what I did though, because I messed up the mold itself. You know how I put the little bubbles in there for it to lock? Somehow it just didn't want to come apart easily, so I had to cut it up and open it, which has not happened to me before with my other molds, so I don't know what that was about. But it didn't work as smoothly, so I'm hoping that it'll stay in place. I'm hoping it has enough grip so it doesn't like move around and stuff, but gosh, I'm nervous. We're gonna see right now. Oh, I'm scared. This is always so scary, especially the first one when it's a new one. Okay, there's the top. Okay, so far so good, but that's because it's just the back. I'm really scared for the nose. Oh, I hope it works good. It missed the tip of the nose. It missed the tip of the nose. Damn. That's okay. I mean, I kind of figured that was gonna happen because like that's such a small detail. Or I guess I can just do it like this too, and it has just like a short little carrot nose. Maybe, I don't know. I'll mess around with it and test out different ideas. But it's so warm because like the chemicals of this get super hot, and it feels like a little hard-boiled egg. Other than that though, it's pretty good. I'll just have to go in and sand the seam on these ones probably a little more because it's not as lined up. There's still a ridge right here, so I'm gonna have to sand those down on all of the snowmen. Back at the deli again. I'm laying here in bed. Picked up this book that I've been wanting to read for so long. And I started reading it months ago, and I stopped. I don't know why. So I pick it up again. I've had a headache for like 2 hours. It's not going away. But I made my bed all cozy so I could read. I have Canada Dry. I have my notes. I have my sticky notes to annotate the book. I don't know what, I just feel tired today. There's nothing going on up in this brain. going down to San Diego later for the day to go to a cafe and to the art store down there, Blick Art. I love that store, and I'm excited to go. I haven't been for a while, but I'm a little scared because that means I'm probably going to spend a lot of money. I'm going to try not to. But today's plan is, San Diego, and then I'm going to work on some art today. I want to sketch some more character design. I've been working on Asteroid's character design as well as some other characters in the comics in his universe, which you have not met yet. So today you will be introduced to some new characters, which is exciting. I've posted a little bit about different characters here and there, but nothing like I'm going to do today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spiel as to who the characters are, what they're like, obviously how they look, and then from there work on sketching them. I'm working on expression sheets today, and I've been working on those for this past week, but I also need to do some character design, like general stuff, like literally design the character, because I have it up in my head but I haven't really fleshed out some of the characters on paper yet. So I'm going to try and do that today. I'm going to try to make this video very heavy on Asteroid's universe and stuff about the comics and the book and his world. So if you're into that, stick around. I'm going to give away a lot of details, show you a bunch of characters, maybe very briefly go over the storyline of the comics / the book. I don't know about that though. I want to give away as little details for that as possible, obviously, because whenever the book and the comics come out, you want to be able to read them and not know what's happening. But I am going to do some character design. Let me show you what I have so far though. Inside of here, I don't remember if I showed you this in the last video or not. I haven't finished editing it, but I don't remember. But I got this Moleskine expanded. This is the big one. It has 400 pages. This one is just plain. But anyways, I have it inside of this cover, which is what my Hobonichi cousin used to be in. And I also got new sticky tabs, which sorry, I get excited about these things, okay? And I got more sticky tabs, and I went through and like rearranged them on the sheet that it came with so that I could have the colors that I want. So now we got a nice color palette going on. Yeah, so here's Asteroid's expression sheet. I don't know, I'm working on his design still and how to give him emotions properly in the way that he would express them too, because I don't think he would express a lot of emotions properly the way that we as people recognize them. I think he's going to be a little new to like real emotions when he comes to Earth. He's an alien. I mean, he's a moon, so I'm like, he's obviously from space. I feel like that's kind of like general knowledge. But also, I don't know, a lot of this is in my head, so if it doesn't make sense when you're watching this, I'm sorry. It's like, I don't know what would be just like common knowledge. I feel like a guy with a moon head is like pretty much, whether you've heard of him or not, I think it's kind of implied he's from space because it's a moon. But Asteroid lives in space, but then he comes to Earth, our Earth, in the comics / it really happens in the novel. But I think when he gets here and he's meeting other people, he's gonna have a hard time expressing emotions and also understanding what other people's emotions are. So I'm trying to figure out how he would portray certain emotions. So that's more stuff to work on. This next character is a little robot. It's going to be Asteroid's little sidekick, and his name is Otto, A-U-T-O. I really couldn't think of him much better, but his name is Otto. He's a little robot, and that's all I can tell you for now. But this is just his head. For my expression sheets, I'm just working on the face and the expressions, and then once I go further into like character turnarounds and stuff like that, I will show you like them in their entire body with the lineup of their heights in comparison to each other and all that. But this is just expressions. So this is Otto. He's a little robot. I want him to be very expressive with his emotions and his facial features. His eyes, I don't know if I want him to be like digital, like a little like lined digital LEDs, or if I want them to be kind of like, I don't know, like a black hole void type of thing where his eyes are physically expanding and shrinking and changing shape, or if I want it to be like his face is kind of like a screen that shows emotions. I guess basically this is going to be a very bad comparison, but the way that I can express it to you, I think best to understand would be like the way that in WALL-E, Eve, her face is a screen with LED lights, but she's expressive through those lights, versus, again, this is not a good comparison, but versus Jack Skellington, where his eyes are like sockets, and they're physical sockets that change shape. I'm having a lot of issues like conflicting with, oh, well, it's a robot, so it has to be digital. Like, it makes sense for it to be a screen. But also, like, I'm trying too hard to focus on the realism and the logic behind my characters and also what they go through when I'm also, but at the end of the day, I'm like, Asteroid is a moon person that doesn't exist. I can design him however I want. He can have whatever expressions he wants, and like, if I gave him powers, which I'm not going to, he's not going to be like that. But like, theoretically, I can do whatever I want, and I don't need to justify it with the logic and reality of Earth and like how we live as people. So I think I like the idea of him, of Otto, having like eye sockets that move like Jack Skellington's face. But I'm not opposed to LED lights, but I also just have to figure out what's going to be easier to draw repetitively over and over. But for now, these sketches are basically like showing little eye sockets because they're just little black dots on his face. But yeah, so I'm going to go through and do the second row like I did on the digital version of Asteroid's expressions. I'm going to do that second row for Otto, and then I'm also going to go into Asteroids on my notebook and draw the other ones in. And then we're going to work on a character that I have never posted. I've posted Otto here and there, I think. Maybe like once or twice on Instagram. So he might look familiar to some of you. Actually, I have a sheet over here, let me show you, that I have posted of Otto. So this was earlier this year, in January, I think. This is a character sheet when I was brainstorming how I wanted Otto to look, and so this is what that sheet looks like. I posted this one before, but here's a few different designs of his. Gosh, this light is just awful. I hope you can see this well. Let me move this maybe. Okay, so this is as close as it's gonna get. This was kind of just a sketch that I did from something on Pinterest. I used a lot of references for this one, and that's why I don't know, that's obviously not going to be it, but I was kind of just getting my mindset in like, okay, this is how you draw a robot, this is how it would be, and then I was like, that's not stylized enough to my aesthetic, and like it just doesn't seem like that fits in my universe. So then I also realized I don't like this type of a screen. I need the character to have like a face. So that's where we came up, that's how we got to this version of him. This body is still not what I want it to be, but his head became more close to what I liked. I liked the eyes, I liked the antennas, so then I got to this, which eventually I was like, oh, I kind of want him to have some tie into Asteroid, and Asteroid has his curl at the tip of his head, which is what gave me these little like horn curls. Yeah. There's no devil stuff going on. Those aren't devil horns. Don't start the rumors. There's no, that's not it. I just like the little curlies. It just makes it very whimsical and fantasy to me. But they are not, they are not devil horns. There's no devil. Well, I mean, there might be a devil in Asteroid's universe. Otto's not demonic. Otto will not be working for the devil. He just has horns, okay? And that's just that. But anyways, this is an old character design sheet from I think January of 2023, which I need to write down on here because I don't want to forget in 10 years when I look back when I did this. So I'm just gonna write January 2023. But yeah, we're gonna finish the rest of those expressions for Otto, and then we're gonna go into a new character who you've never seen. I've never posted, mainly because I have not found a design of her that I like yet. I'm still figuring out what I want her to look like. And her name is Lucille. She is going to be one of Asteroid's friends that he meets when he comes to Earth, and she's a human. She's not from space. She does have ties to space, but she's not from space. She's not an alien of any kind. She's human like us, and she befriends Asteroid upon his arrival down to Earth and helps him in the journey that he's gonna go on in the book, and so on and so forth. But we have to design her. I also would like to design Asteroid's best friend, Celeste. I don't know what she's gonna look like either. Lucille, I have an idea and a route that I want to go on, and I know how she looks in my brain, and like I have songs that I associate with her and outfits and stuff. Her face is pending. Her body style is pending. I know that I want her to be, I don't know. I know what I want her to be, but I also don't know exactly what I want her to look like, but I do have an idea. If that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. I know where I need to go, but I don't know how to get there yet. So that's what we're going to work on today. Celeste, I have no clue what I want her to look like because I don't know if I want the people who live with Asteroid in space, I don't know if I want everybody to be a moon, like have the same shape as him, but I feel like that would make sense because his parents would have to be moons if he's a moon. But then I don't know, I have to mess around with some ideas of how to make Celeste look. But Celeste is Asteroid's best friend in space, and I'm trying to think of what I could say without giving away the plot. She is his only friend. He has been friends with her since they were kids. Here's a little bit of a backstory. This is more Asteroid stuff, so if you don't care about him and his story, skip ahead, but I'm going to ramble a little bit. So Asteroid is born in space, lives in space, up until he's like 19, 20. Asteroid is basically my age when we get to the comics and when we are reading the novel. That kind of takes place in what I'm going to call like current time, which is Asteroid when he's about 19, 20. And so he and Celeste have been friends since they were kids, like young kids, like kindergarten age, like 4 or 5. I don't know when you go to kindergarten, 5? We'll say they're friends since they're 5. And she is the only person who likes Asteroid because Asteroid is the only creature who has stars. Every time I draw Asteroid, he has his 2 stars, and he is going to be the only creature that has stars, which is what sets up a lot of the storyline, which again will make sense once I release books and comics. But for the most part, what you gotta know is he's the only one who has 2 stars. He's the only one who has stars, period. And he kind of gets bullied and treated different for having those 2 stars, but it goes a lot deeper than that. But Celeste is the only one who doesn't care and treats him like anybody else, and they become best friends. And they're best friends from from young kids up until current time. And so I don't know what I want her to look like, really. I have an idea. I mean, she's obviously going to be a creature as well, just like Asteroid is, but I'm figuring out if I want other people to be moons, or if I want kind of just him and maybe his family to be moons, or everybody's a moon. Maybe he's the only blue one as well. Maybe, I don't know. I have to figure out how to differentiate the moons as well. Maybe some of them just don't have a curl. Some of them have... I don't like the idea of having different moon shapes, but also that would just make sense because the moon goes through different phases. So maybe they have different phases of the moon. Maybe some people are full moons, some people are crescent moons, some people are... I don't know. We'll see. But those are the 2 characters that I want to work on today and kind of get an idea for where I want to go. Nothing has to be finalized, but I do want to have like a reference point of their designs. Lucille is going to be very vintage. She's going to have a lot of... her fashion is going to be very vintage, inspired by anywhere from like the 20s to like the 60s. She's kind of... again, there's also no timeline necessarily of when Asteroid's universe takes place. I don't think I'm going to give it a timeline because I have a lot of influences from different time periods that I want to merge into my creations. So I don't want to give it a set timeline and say, oh, this takes place in the 50s. This takes place today in 2023. I don't want to do that because I want there to be room for different eras to be combined without having to be like, oh, well, if it's 2023, why don't they have cell phones? A cell phone just does not work in Asteroid's world. Like, it doesn't make sense for the story. It doesn't make sense for him. Asteroid's never going to be holding an iPhone. Like, it just doesn't work. But then again, I don't want to say, oh, this takes place in the 40s, because then they do have technological advances that they didn't have in the 40s. So none of it is going to be, like, necessarily true to timeline, historical events, none of that. So I'm kind of creating my own timeline of things that, to me, in my brain, either just make sense for his universe or don't. I don't really have an explanation to it. It's just, I can see something and tell you whether or not that would exist then or it would not. Like, Asteroid has a CD player and headphones. He has a few essential items, which I can tell you right now. His essential items are also the items that he takes with him to space, or to Earth from space. Those are his journal, his pencil bag. He has a quilt set of a quilt blanket and a pillow that he takes. He has a CD player with wired headphones, and he also has a little backpack that he puts all that stuff in when he goes to Earth, and he has like a childhood stuffed animal that he just keeps because he can't like fathom the idea of getting rid of it. So those are his like essentials. And again, like a CD player is, I think, it is more technologically advanced than it was in the 40s. I don't think CDs existed then, but like a CD player makes sense for him. To me, maybe it doesn't to you. Also, I don't know if he has ears. I don't know where these headphones are going to go. I don't know if he just has... I don't know if he has ears. I don't think he does. I'm not gonna draw ears. He's gonna be kind of like SpongeBob, I guess, where the ears are there. So don't ask about details like that. Some things are just not gonna make sense because he's an alien. But in space, his world is gonna be very high tech, advanced, but not in like a Star Trek, Star Wars, science fiction, hologram, clean, stark, white, bright light type of way. It's gonna be, I don't know how to explain it. It's gonna be, you'll see more once as things go on, but it's gonna be a lot more technologically advanced, and they're gonna have really advanced systems and operating mechanisms that they don't have on Earth, because Earth is gonna play a lot more into an older time period. But again, I'm not gonna give you a time period of when it ranges from, but it will have a lot more influences from anywhere earlier than the 1960s. But again, that's not to say that there won't be things from current day, but like, we're not gonna have iPhones, there won't be iPads, there will not be computers. There's no Teslas, like it's not we're not gonna have like those type of things in the real world or on Earth for him, but like there will be refrigerators, or there will be I don't know, there will be things that we have today, but just how they were 50 years ago or so. So Lucille, with that being said, Lucille is going to be very vintage. She's going to have a lot of vintage clothing. Lucille runs an antique shop, so she's very into antique clothing, items, furniture, stuff like that. So she's going to be I personally love vintage stuff. That's one of my main influences. So a lot of the stuff that we see in Asteroid's world is going to be influenced by vintage. Particularly stuff from the 50s and the 20s. I really like those time periods. So we're going to get a lot of that stuff on Earth. Space, I want to be quite opposite of what Earth is. I want him to come here and be like, whoa, this is way different than what I thought it was going to be. And it's all a learning curve to him. But, yeah. I don't know what my point is in saying all that. I'm kind of just dumping as much as I can give you without spoiling the main storyline, which, if I do say so myself, is quite the journey, it's quite the ride. There's a lot of emotions, really big ones, very small ones, very dramatic ones, very heartbreaking ones, and a lot of good things, a lot of bad things that are going to happen to him and those around him, and you will find out eventually. But I would like to share as much as I can of the process of making the comics and his book, and the character design and the set designs and everything in between. So if that is something that interests you, let me know in the comments. Tell me if this is boring, if you don't care, but I'm going to try to post as much as I can. A lot of the pages in the comics that aren't necessarily spoilers, or aren't a scene that has like a big storyline, I will share as I make them, and I'm going to do videos of like drawing out the scenes and creating a page, and you can watch me while I do it, but only scenes that obviously don't have any important, like crazy important information. If it's scenes of like Asteroid and Lucille talking, then I'll probably draw those and show you, or if it's something that isn't like a big plot spoiler, I will show you. But I would like to keep as much of the storyline hidden, but also share as much as I can to get people excited and know these characters, so that when they come out and are in the world and you're experiencing them, they are people you feel like you know, maybe, and you can... My goal in sharing it is for when the stories come out, you really empathize with the characters, and you have an attachment to some of the characters, and then you either experience the sad stuff that they go through just the same way that they do, or you root for them when they have victories and good things happen for them, and you feel happy for them. I really want the connection of you with the characters, whichever character it is that you resonate with the most, so that when these things happen, it's just like that much more intense. But yeah, it's not going to be super sci-fi. It's not going to be very like over-the-top fantasy, like Marvel, Star Wars, spacey, stuff like that. It's not really going to be like that. There will be definitely little parts that are very eccentric like that, but most of it is going to be very just, I don't even know what genre I would say. It's just fiction. He's not going to have any powers. He's not going to be a superhero. Nobody's really going to have powers like superheroes do. But then again, they're aliens, so they have a little bit more of an advantage than us. So again, don't look too far into the logistics of things. He's an alien, and a lot of the other characters are as well, or they're from space. But yeah, but my target demographic is the Star Wars fans, the Marvel fans, the Five Nights at Freddy's fans. Like, that's the kind of vibe we're going for. It's a little spooky, it's a little eerie, but there's a lot of emotional stuff. It's just going to be a fun journey as well. But those type of fans, you are my target demographic. And if you like Star Wars, and if you like Star Trek, and Marvel, and Five Nights at Freddy's, and like Zelda, and like video game stuff, you'll probably like a lot of this as well. So anyways, that was a long ramble, so we're gonna get into some sketching now. So
it was the size of this. There was a dog that was this size.
Careful.
My back was that. It took me like 10 minutes to close it. It's okay. No, it's not gonna do it anymore. Why? Oh. Oh. It's okay. I like her names too.
Taylor Street.
Now this is an open shut.
It's crazy.
I'm the apprentice. Like, I'm just like, and show them like how like. I was just joining us today. I didn't even roll yet. I know. And your mechanic, and then his cousin, I think, is coming from Mexico in like a couple months. Oh, it's gonna be
concealer everywhere. And eyeshadow brush. I just want to go like that. My hair is oily, so like.
Did you see that? This is the most flavorful apple I've ever had. It's smells like perfume. Oh wow, the president. Or a president.
Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of my food.
We're gonna dye my hair. Right now, as you can see, we got that red. It looks pink though, and I'm tired of having to fix that. And I also got it back here, in the back. But we're getting rid of it. It's gone. It's leaving. We're fixing it. It's out the door. We're done. I went to Dutch Bros for like the first time in years. I've only been to Dutch Bros when I've been in Idaho, and they've recently opened some in California. This is the Aquaberry Dutch soda, and then I got a caramelizer. This one's really good. That one's good too, but this is like perfectly sweet to the point where it feels like you're still drinking coffee. It makes me feel a little sophisticated, but it's sweet enough to enjoy. So, we're dyeing my hair. I'll show you what I got. Developer, bleach, toner, and dye. Here's the plan. I think I'm gonna go like a dark blonde. I don't know. We're gonna see how it looks. The plan is bleach it, see how light it can get. I got this toner that was like a nice blonde. Actually, it says very light blonde, but I don't know. We'll see. We're gonna just do what it does, and I got this one, which is light intense brown. So if the blonde is like not a vibe, we'll dye it brown. If this so happens to not be the vibe either, I have a really dark brown that I like, that I already have. So then, worst case scenario, we just dye it basically black, which is what it's kind of at right now. It's like very dark brown, almost black, but not really. But we're gonna bleach first, because that's at the forefront of my mind, and I'm not gonna be able to do anything until I do this and get this done with. I'm tired of this hair. I'm tired of the red. I'm actually not tired of the red. I'm just tired of having to fix it because it turns pink. But I don't know. I want to do something kind of crazy. I forgot to get color remover, so that is probably going to be there for a bit. Oh well, I look crazy. I don't know how I'm going to get this pink out now. I did not really think that through, but yeah, don't say anything in the comments. Don't say a single thing. I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. Don't say a single thing. Not one. Well, you should have done this. Well, I didn't. Well, I can't do it now. Well, I mean, it bleached my regular hair, or my real natural hair, like the roots, good. I just have to tone it. But this brown was dyed hair, so the tips are not. And also this pink, it's just pink now. Like it's pink for real. That's gotta go. I burnt my toast. Like charcoal. But I personally like that. I like how it tastes.
I wanted to talk about this nail first. It's a very simple layout. It's just
So I have to make a post for the market that I'm doing on December 3rd. I think I mentioned it earlier in this video, or maybe the last video, but again, if you can come down, come stop by, say hi, December 3rd, Queen Bees in San Diego. But I have to make a post for it for tomorrow. So I just sketched up this little comic strip. Like this. Because I don't really want to do a video. Also, I can't film anything because my hair looks like this. And I'm not going to post that to Lucky Stars. No way. So I gotta come up with something that's a little more passive where I just kind of draw it. I look crazy. I feel crazy. Although the blonde.
You're saying something really important.
Oh, you can see the blue. I've given up on the blonde. I gave up. We're doing brown now. It's like a very reddish brown, like a chestnut, I suppose. Oh, wrong way. And I look like a lunch lady. I'm about to serve you lunch. About to serve, hey. Guys, Procreate Dreams came out last night. And I downloaded it. Gosh, whoa, I look crazy. I downloaded it last night. I'm gonna try and animate something. We'll see. There it is. It's like a reddish, light brown. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm gonna leave it alone because I've been doing a bunch of stuff to it. It's not horrible. I'm in my dad's surf shop. He makes surfboards. Look at, ugh, I don't know. I gotta fix the haircut maybe. Something. Anyways, we gotta use this thing, a bandsaw, to trim those castings, and then use this to sand down the bottoms of them so they're not like this. See, this should not be there, so we gotta get those off.